want to share all of them with you here today. This is coming to you live, so if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. You can also feel free to follow me if you find anything I'm saying to be useful. So let's go ahead and get started, and we'll talk about some of these awesome products that I've got here today. So the first thing I want to show, I've always got this here with me when I'm streaming. This is actually a little kind of pretend fireplace, and it's from Decadent, and it's basically not, it doesn't have any heat to it at all. It's actually just an LED little USB device here. A lot of people like to use them, on their desk at work, if you're allowed to bring, some cool gadgets or something into work to make that, your desk space a little bit more interesting. This is a great one to bring along for that. This is, again, totally doesn't, if you touch it, it's not hot. And it's just a neat thing, and it plugs into USB. It's also great for kids. Has a look like a real fireplace, but it's, again, totally safe because it does not actually use any flame. It doesn't even use any heat, and you can just plug it into a USB port. I've got it plugged into a USB port that's here on my desk. I'll talk about the desk in a little bit, but it's a really neat gadget. I actually put one in my real fireplace and plug it into a USB phone charger, and it creates the feel like there's a little fire going in the room, even though there's no actual heat coming off of it. We are live here. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. You can just type into the chat. I will say something in there. I'll say hi to everybody who's here. So if you do see that, I'll just say please put questions. Please put any questions in the chat. Feel free to ask me. So right now I'm talking about the Decadent Fireplace Lantern here. It does run on USB. It can also run on a battery. So that's really great. You can put batteries into it. It makes it a great piece of decor for holiday display, for Halloween. People sometimes use these. For Christmas, they'll use this and they'll put this out. And again, because it doesn't generate any heat, it looks very realistic, like an actual little fireplace. It's a little hard to see. There's a reflection going there. It's a little bit better. You can see it looks like a real fireplace. And mine I've used for so long that the flames aren't really moving anymore, but normally these flames sort of move and dance, and it really looks surprisingly realistic for something that doesn't actually generate heat, that just sits there on your desktop and just provides a neat kind of piece of decor for your room. So Decadent Fireplace Lantern, it's $23.90, so pretty good price. Right now, it's about 8% off of the normal price, and you can see it in the carousel next to me here if you want to check it out, and go ahead and click through and take a look there at the Decadent Fireplace Lantern. Again, batteries, USB, you've got a bunch of different options for powering it, depending on how you want to set it up or use it in your home. Let's take a look now at what's here in front of me. I referenced a second ago. This is my Flexispot standing desk, so you can see that I'm obviously standing as I'm speaking to you here, live streaming, and this is the Flexispot desk that I use to do that. So I think a lot of people, especially working from home, want to have the ability to stand up where they're working, to be able to shift between sitting and standing at will. And the Flexispot EB8 is a great option for doing that. And Flexispot actually sent me this one to check out, so thank you to them for doing that. I've been using it for a couple of months now, and I'll show exactly how it works. But the first thing I would say about it is that it is very easy to assemble. I'm always afraid with these bigger items, especially, that it's just going to be really hard to put it together. It's going to take hours to do that, and it can be hard to put aside that time. And this one actually is not like that at all. It's very, very easy to put together. Probably took me, I would say about 20 minutes the most to put this together. It comes mostly assembled. You have this big piece on top. You've got the legs pretty much just connect in with bolts, and you're good to go. So it's easy to get it ready. And the nice thing with this is that it actually makes it simple to shift back and forth between what I'm doing here, which is standing, so you're not on your sitting down all the time, be up on your feet, Or if you want to then shift to working from a seated position, it's easy to do that. And the reason is that this EB8 standing desk actually has a motor built into it, and you can press a button on it. So watch this. Press a button, and it actually is going to lower that desk automatically. Pretty snazzy, and it goes all the way back down, so it can be a fully seated position or anywhere in between standing and sitting, and it'll actually tell you, there's a little measurement on here for the height of it, and you can actually choose the exact position that you want. So literally I can press one button with my finger and watch it go up and down. So this is the full height here, perfect standing height. I can put my laptop here, put my keyboard here in this case. I can be working, streaming, talking to you about these cool products. If I want to then sit, you know, I just press the button, and the motor is actually powerful enough to move this even if you've got your whole setup on there. So, you know, I think it's always kind of frustrating if you have a standing desk and you want to shift to being seated, and you have to, you know, worry about how am I going to move the monitors and move everything up and down. This makes it so simple because it can actually move everything just right on the desk there. You can set up your whole setup with your monitor and keyboard and speakers and you know, Fireplace Lantern and all that kind of stuff, and then just press that button to shift easily between seated and standing. And that way you have all the benefits of having a standing desk, but when you want to be sitting down, you don't really feel like standing all day long. It's easy, just press the button, shift your positioning, and you can be back to seating, and again, shift back and forth really quickly, really easily with the Flexispot EB8. And the quality of the desk is really nice. It's got this bamboo style top to it. Again, really easy to put together, 15, 20 minutes, I would say, to put it together. And really, you know, nice, good quality here. And again, I really appreciate Flexispot sent this to me so I could check it out and review it. I've been using it for a couple of months now for these streams and just for working here at my workstation. And I find that works great. So especially if you have, you know, maybe you're working from home during the pandemic or beyond, and you want to have a nice workstation. Maybe you don't have the room to put in, you know, a full like chair setup all the time. So you want to have flexibility. Maybe you're setting up a workstation in a part of your house where you normally wouldn't be working. It's really nice to be able to have that flexibility here where you can be seated, be standing, however you want to do it. You can do it here with the Flexispot EB8. And it's $4.99. Let me see if there's any deals on it at the moment. There's often deals on this particular one. Flexispot is pretty good about that. You can see it highlighted next to me there in the carousel. So let's see what we got. It's also got a drawer in it, by the way. Yeah, just as I thought. So there's a $100 coupon if you go and check out the Flexispot EB8 standing desk. It's a really great desk. I would definitely recommend it. Again, they reached out and offered to send me one so I could try it out, which always is a good sign that, you know, people are pretty confident in their product. And I set it up in about 15, 20 minutes. Use it here. It works great for what I'm doing now, which is standing, streaming, talking, you know, everything. And then I can just press that button, one finger, you know, no effort whatsoever. It's super cool too, you know, if you're using this like at your startup or your office or whatever, people are going to be really impressed by this. So you can move your monitors, move everything up and down just with the press of a button. It's got a little motor built in that does all of that movement, so you don't have to sit there and move this around. Now, if you're just joining me, we are live. If you have any questions, please do put them in the chat. I'm very happy to answer them. If you like what you're seeing, want to see more of my streams, please do press that follow button, and that's really does help me out if you do follow me there. So I do appreciate that if you do. So we're talking about the EB8 standing desk from Flexispot. Again, they were really kind to send this to me so I could take a look at it, test it out, see how it worked for me, and I really liked the way that this has been working for me. It's definitely been a really good investment. And again, it is a little bit pricey, $500. You know, it's definitely an investment, but I think totally worth it because it's a big desk. It's good quality. There's this little drawer that slides out so you can put your stuff in there if you want to. And then just to have that ease of switching back and forth between standing and sitting. And if you're interested, they do have a $100 coupon. If you go through to the page, you can click on the Flexispot EB8 desk next to me there in the carousel. Click through to the page. You can apply that $100 coupon. I don't know how long that will last, so if you're thinking about getting one of these, definitely jump on that now because that's a great price. So it brings it down to $400, and you know, totally worth it, especially if you're buying this to use at the office. You want to have a new, you know, place you can work. And a lot of people really like the ability to go from, you know, standing up, sitting down. If you get tired of being sitting in your chair all day, maybe you're working longer hours during the pandemic, maybe you're doing a job where you're coding or you're writing, and you want to be able to just stand up and be able to have the benefits of standing like I'm doing right here. But if you want to shift back, you just press the button and easily shift back to the seated kind of position there, and you're good to go. So I love that, and you can go anywhere in between, by the way. You don't have to be just seated or standing. You can have a lower standing desk if you want to do, you know, some kind of art project or something on it. It's nice to be able to change the position totally at will to any position in there, between this full seated position all the way up to the full standing that I usually use when I'm streaming here. Any questions? Do you have any questions about this standing desk? We're live. You can go ahead and put those in the chat. I'm very happy to answer those questions. And again, thank you to Flexispot for sending this to me. It's been a really great product to check out, and I really enjoyed using it. Really like that simple action, just press the button, bring the desk back up, and now I can be standing here and talking to you all. So that is the Flexispot EB8 standing desk. You saw earlier, this is the Decadent Fireplace Lantern. It's a cool little thing to have on your desktop, little pretend fireplace. I like to put it in there, and one of the nice things with the standing desk is that you can actually plug this right into the USB port on the desk. But, you know, in normal life, you could also use that for a cell phone or charging your smartwatch. It's nice to have those extra USB ports, which are just over on the side for me here. Let's move on to the next gadget. So the next thing I want to show is my Fitbit. This is the Fitbit Charge 5. You can see I've been wearing it the whole time, so it's been right here in front of you. But this is a really great Fitbit. I think it's one of the best Fitbits out there at the moment. And I have been using a Fitbit for a long time. So I've actually used Fitbit for actually over a decade. So I got the very first Fitbit way back when. It was like a little paper clip that you would wear, and you put it on your clothing. It would track your steps, and that was it. And it was very, very advanced at the time to be able to do that kind of step tracking. It was very accurate. You got a little like readout on it that said how many steps you had taken, much better than a traditional pedometer. And I've worn a Fitbit basically every day since then. So I've used a lot of different Fitbits, a lot of different time periods, and I've gotten a lot of experience with them. And I really like the Fitbit Charge 5 because it has the really advanced sensors that Fitbit is now kind of known for, and particularly good at, but it puts them into this smaller format of more like a fitness band than a full watch. So if you're looking for more of a smartwatch experience with apps and things from Fitbit, then look at the Fitbit Sense. The Fitbit Sense is the most up-to-date Fitbit smartwatch. However, if you're like me and you just want to have more of this fitness band style tracker, but you still want really advanced sensors, then the Fitbit Charge 5 is the way to go. And the reason for that is that it has super, super advanced health and wellness sensors built right into the watch here. It's going to track your heart rate, it's going to track your steps, it's going to track exercise. So if you're working out, you can use this. There's all different workouts you can track with it. It does a great job of that. But it also has some really advanced tracking capabilities that really nothing else out there has at the moment. And that includes skin temperature tracking. So if you're when you're sleeping, it will track your skin temperature and actually show you that in a little chart, which I'll show in a second. It'll also track your blood oxygen level, so SpO2, and overnight it'll keep tabs on that and tell you about it the next day. So you can see how your breathing was overnight. And it even has a electrical sensor built into the top of it, and you can do things like you can put your hands on the side of it and it'll actually measure your current stress level and it will measure your ECG, do an ECG reading. So it's like a heart measurement to see if you possibly have an arrhythmia. And that's actually an FDA cleared capability that the Fitbit Charge 5 has. And that's pretty impressive to have a little heart monitor built into your watch. And you can do it in about 30 seconds. You can take a reading, just check, and if there's any issues, then there's actually a printout you can send to your doctor, and they can review that with you and diagnose from there. So it's really neat to be able to do that as a little screening that you can do on your watch. Again, they actually got FDA clearance to be able to do that in a medical context, which is hard to do and pretty impressive that they were able to get that for a smartwatch. So pretty advanced sensors built in. And I want to show you here, this is the Fitbit app, and I can actually pull up, for example, from my watch this chart, and it's going to show my blood oxygen level overnight for the last week, and tell me whether I'm in my personal range or outside of my personal range. And the Fitbit Charge 5 will also measure my exercise. It'll measure my sleep. So I can go in here, I can pull up my sleep, and I'll get a score in the app here for how well I slept, how many hours I slept, how much I was up. It'll even determine the stages of sleep that I was in on a given night. And that'll tell you, like, if you were in deep sleep, light sleep, if you got woken up, if you were in REM sleep when you'd be dreaming. It's something that's able to detect. And you don't have to tell it that you went to sleep. It'll actually automatically determine that. So a lot of data that you get there in the Fitbit app, synchronized from the Fitbit Charge 5 here. But you can also, right on the watch itself, get quite a lot of data. So you can see on the watch face, we've got our basic watch. We can get notifications from our phone. We can track exercise on there, and we can set alarms. We can set a timer, but we can also get our stats for the day. So I'll go back to the home screen here, and you can see I got, the basic stuff that most wearables are going to track, like my number of steps, and we're also going to get some more advanced things like the distance that I went, the number of active minutes, number of calories that I burned, and the heart rate zones that I'm in during the day. So really cool, really great for tracking exercise. And again, one of my favorite things to track on there is the sleep tracking. I think it's really cool to be able to see that. You can start to see how much you slept, how good quality your sleep was, and it'll actually give you a score telling you how good your sleep was from 0 to 100. And I unfortunately don't always do great. This was a night where I got a 73, which is actually not bad for me. That's considered fair. You can improve that by doing all kinds of things that the Fitbit app will recommend, again, based on your actual data. And you can see this graph of all that. So quite a lot that the Charge 5 is tracking, and it's only $129. So unlike the more advanced smartwatches out there that can be a lot more, this is only $129. Right now it is 28% off. So really good price, really good capabilities here on the Charge 5. I would definitely recommend getting and wearing one of these. I think it's the best combination of different factors in a Fitbit, between being inexpensive, relatively inexpensive, for a Fitbit, for an advanced tracker, pretty stylish, slim, easy to wear, totally waterproof, so you can shower with it, you can swim with it, not a big deal, but it still has those super advanced sensors in it. The only downside I would say is that you can't track, you can't have apps on it. So there's apps that you can get on the smartwatches like the Fitbit Sense or the Fitbit Versa. You can get Starbucks, you can get Uber and that kind of thing on there. But to me that doesn't really matter. I don't usually use those that much. So this has all of the advanced sensors that you would get in the Fitbit Sense, but it doesn't have the apps, and it is a lot less expensive. It's a lot smaller than the traditional sort of larger smartwatch. So really cool device. Love the Fitbit Charge 5. I've been wearing it for several months now, and I find that it's a great smartwatch. Next thing I want to talk about here, and feel free, we are live here, so I see there's a bunch of people tuned in. You're welcome to ask any kind of questions. I'm happy to answer them. I'll just say please type questions into the chat. If you're enjoying this stream, if you're one of the people watching live, please do press the follow button. It's underneath the stream here. You can just press follow and follow me, and really appreciate it, and I'll ring my cool bird wind chime over here if you do follow me and interrupt this stream to do that. So feel free to press that follow button. Again, I really do appreciate if you're able to do that. The next thing I want to talk about is a kids-related gadget. It's not for kids, but it's for parents. This is the Bebcare Motion baby monitor. And this is a little baby monitor that you can install in your kid's nursery. And it's a low radiation baby monitor, which means that as it is transmitting, it's not putting out a lot of that kind of magnetic radiation that you can get from any device that transmits. So it's designed to be used in a baby's room and gives you a stream of whatever the camera is seeing to this little tablet kind of thing that you can take around the house. You can plug in, you get a little live video stream from your nursery. But the really cool thing with the Bebcare Motion here is that it actually, you can from this tablet control the camera and pan it side to side and up and down. So if your baby's sleeping, you're keeping an eye on them, but you want to move it down a little bit, move it around a little bit, maybe check out the room, check out exactly what they're doing. If they're moving around in the crib, you can do that right from this little tablet. It's very quiet, doesn't wake them up. You can pan the camera around and actually see exactly what your baby is up to in the crib. So really cool. That's the motion part of the Bebcare Motion. Again, that low radiation transmission I think is really great. This little wire on the back, and we got this little antenna, and then it transmits to this tablet. It's nice to have a dedicated little tablet that you can carry around, so you don't have to always get your phone out. You do have audio on this as well, so you can hear what's happening in the nursery, and it even has a temperature sensor. So you can see on here exactly what the temperature is. Really nice to be able to see that, make sure it's not too hot or too cold in the nursery. Bebcare did send this to me to check out, so thank you to them for that. I've been using it in my own nursery for over a month, and it's really nice to be able to, you might hear the baby and you just turn the little tablet on, you'll get a little screen on there, and then you can actually see exactly what that camera is seeing. You can see the battery level, you can get all the information on what's going on in your nursery, and even pan, tilt around, see what your baby is up to. And I really love that. I think that works really great, really cool device, and I've been, again, enjoying using that. Plus, it's nice to know with that low radiation, it's something really designed to be used in a nursery, in a baby room. If you're just joining me, we are live. Please feel free to ask any questions that you have, anything that you want to know about any of these products. I would love to answer. Just go ahead and put that directly into the chat. I'll show the next thing here, but feel free to put anything into the chat, and I'm happy to answer. We are live. If you do enjoy what you're seeing, please do press the follow button, and you can follow me and be able to see all of my live streams, be able to see all the new products that I get as they come in. I try to do these streams as often as possible and be able to show lots of cool products, any new stuff I've gotten. And again, Bebcare Motion, one of the newer tech gadgets that I've started to test out. Thank you again to Bebcare for sending that to me. It's been really fun to have and useful to have for my own purposes in the nursery. It's nice to be able to have that and be able to quickly and easily see what's going on in that space. It's a really nice capability. Feels like a good safety kind of thing to be able to have that. And yeah, I'm really glad that they sent this to me, and I was able to try it out and share it here with you. Again, any questions that you do have about any of these products, the Bebcare Motion, any of these other things, please do feel free to ask anything in the chat, and I'm happy to answer that for you here. So that's the Bebcare Motion. I'm going to highlight that in the carousel, and you can feel free to take a look, click through, ask anything that you want to on that one. Another product I want to share with you, another thing that I just got recently is, this is below me on the floor here, so I'm going to grab it. This is the Eufy 11S Robotic Vacuum Cleaner. And it's a robotic vacuum cleaner that you can use to clean your floor. I use it to clean my garage here, actually, and It's a really neat Robot Vac. It's inexpensive, which I love. Some of these can get so pricey, and this one from Eufy is only, right now, only $109. So that's 45% off right now. So this is a super great deal on it. I actually paid a lot more for it than that. I think I paid the $199. I still felt it was worth it at that price, but $109 is a really, really great price on this. And it's a slim Robot Vac. It will go under your furniture. It'll cruise around your house really easily. It doesn't map the house like some of the more expensive ones do, which I think is fine. And I think that's you know, it's okay to have that where it's not actually doing the mapping. And you still get quite a lot of suction and power on this, it's still a really great vacuum, and again at a fantastic price, especially right at the moment. If you want to find a vacuum at a really good price, I would definitely check this out. So some other cool things about it, it just has this like bumper and detectors on the front, cruises around your house, and when it's done cleaning, it will actually automatically find its way back to its charger. So this is a little charger. It can go into this and charge itself back up automatically. And I think that's super cool because, you know, it can be kind of annoying to have to chase a vacuum around and make sure it's charged up. And so this will actually find its way back as it's getting low and charge itself in that charger. And it's pretty reliable at doing that. Again, I find it works pretty well here in my garage to do the vacuuming and keep the floor clean. And then when you're done vacuuming, we just take the back off of it here. And this is the little dust bin, and prepare to see some pretty gross dust. So this is what it picked up here in my garage. You can see this here in about maybe 20-30 minutes of going around and vacuuming. So leaves, dust, dirt, there's a little filter on here. Just dump all this stuff out, clean off the filter. This snaps back together, and then this whole thing just goes back into the Eufy Robot Vac here. This is the 11S. The S means slim. It's a slim model, and it'll clean for about 100 minutes before needing to come back to its charger. So it's a pretty neat little Robot Vac, and I really like it. I think the quality is good. It also will not fall down the stairs. I've tried to get it to fall down the stairs. It actually has sensors. As long as you don't have a dark colored carpet at the top of your stairs, it'll detect that cliff of the stairs and avoid falling off, which is something people often wonder about. You know, what do I do if I've got stairs or balcony? I wouldn't walk underneath the balcony or anything while this is cleaning, but in my experience, in my testing, it will not fall off of that ledge, which is really, really great. So those are the gadgets I wanted to share today. If you do have any questions about any of these, feel free to put them in the chat. If you haven't already, please do press that follow button. Follow me. Again, we talked about the Eufy Robot Vac. We talked about the Bebcare Motion, really great little camera there. And we talked about the Fitbit Charge 5, my favorite Fitbit at the moment to use. We talked about my Flexispot EB8 standing desk, which can move itself up and down, as you can see it doing right now. I just press a button, can move it all over the place here. Really neat to be able to do that. They sent me that one to test, so thank you. And finally, the Decadent Fireplace Lantern. Cool, just thing to have on top of your desk. Great for kids. Hi, Burton. Burton's saying bye. Thank you. If you haven't followed me, please do press that follow button. Really appreciate if you would, and I'll ring the chime over here if you do that and celebrate. But thank you for tuning in, and thank you to everybody who came and asked questions and joined in this stream here. You can feel free to click on any of those products, click through, check them out, and if you want to see more of my streams, just press the follow button. I'll be back soon to share more tech gadgets with you, and always keep you up to date on the latest stuff that I am testing.